here's some finished fiber from our field retting trial. These bags, or these fibers represent variety Futura 83 harvested at 3 different retting times. So they were all grown the exact same way, planted on May 21st, and they were all cut on the same day, and then they were left to ret in the field for different intervals of time. This one retted for 3 weeks, this one retted for 4 weeks, and this one retted for 5 weeks. So through doing this experiment, we can learn something about the retting process, specifically about the color of the fiber, because retting is extremely crucial to the end result fiber color. It's hard to tell when fiber is optimally retted. It's something that we're really working towards making more accessible to anyone, but what we've learned here, we could have only learned from seeing these 3 side by side. You'll notice in the one that has been retted for 3 weeks, there's like a tinge of green in it. And one of the indicators of a well-retted crop is the absence of green coloring on the stems. And that's something that can be really tricky to achieve if you're having really variable weather or like extreme weather in terms of high temperatures and rain at the time of retting. The crop's just gonna ret really unevenly. So you'll have stems on the ground that might be green at the top but looking really well retted on the root end, and that's a really difficult call to make. But ideally, in a perfect system, you would wait for there to be no green left on the stems to pick them up. This fiber retted at 4 weeks has no green. It's kind of a really pristine, like blonde or buckskin color. And then this one that was retted for 5 weeks has dipped into a darker territory. So when you leave fiber to ret too long, it'll get very dark. So in looking at these 3 together, it's kind of safe to say in hindsight that 4 weeks was the ideal retting time for this variety given the climatic conditions we had last summer. Because again, at 3 weeks, it was coming out green. At 5 weeks, it was coming out dark, and we hit some sort of sweet spot at the 4-week mark. Varieties mature at different times, so this wouldn't be true across the board for all of the varieties. In fact, in the same trial, we had another variety, Bielobreski, which is a bit earlier, and that one proved to be ideal at 3 weeks. So that can really change depending on variety. It can absolutely change depending on what the weather's doing, and in fact it will. So we don't expect to see these same results at 4 weeks next summer unless we have very similar weather. But in this one instance, we learned that we were able to hit an ideal moment for retting timing, and it happened to be 4 weeks. And that was made by looking at the color and determining the best fiber that way.